This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth, coming at you with another installment of what you need to know. And for our first story for today, you may have already heard that independent journalist Lauren Southern was recently detained under Section 7 of a terrorism act while she was trying to enter the UK. So needless to say, free speech is not just in jeopardy, ladies and gentlemen. It's on its deathbed. We're also going to take a look at Tommy Robinson, the former leader of the English Defence League, who was recently attacked by migrants and violent antifa thugs. But one thing they forgot to consider is that when you back a bulldog into a corner in a threatening manner, guess what? He's gonna bite. And last but not least, we're gonna take a critical look at Islam itself and separate the facts from the fiction as we answer the question, is it racist to be critical of a religion that is at odds with Western Christian standards, morals, and values? The answer apparently may shock you. And kicking things off for our first story for today, independent journalist and political activist Lauren Southern was recently detained in Coquille, near Calais, which is in northern France, when she was attempting to enter the United Kingdom. A UK Home Office spokesperson released the following statement. Border Force has the power to refuse entry to an individual it is considered that his or her presence in the UK is not conducive to the public good. So she was taken into custody, detained and interrogated for 6 hours as they picked her brain to try to find out if she had any radical intentions or any violent ideas when it comes to speaking out against Islam. Lauren took to her Twitter to say, "I'm not kidding about this, but during my questioning by the UK police, I was asked about my Christianity and whether I'm a radical. I was also asked how I feel about running Muslims over with cars." Now, as someone who has known Lauren Southern since she was a teenager and who I'm proud to call a friend, I can honestly say she is the farthest thing from anything being violent or even racist, because what she is critical about, Islam, is in fact not a race. But this hasn't stopped the UK from enforcing its medieval Islamic blasphemy laws anyways. A notice of her refusal to enter the UK was issued, and this is what it said. To Lauren Southern, you asked for leave to enter the United Kingdom as a visitor for up to 5 days. However, by your own admission, on the 24th of February 2018, you were involved in the distribution of racist material in Luton. I believe that your actions whilst in the United Kingdom present a threat to the fundamental interest of society into the public policy of the United Kingdom. You have not sought entry under any provisions under the immigration rules. I therefore refuse you leave to enter the United Kingdom. I propose to request that the competent French authorities remove you from the controlled zone. So they claim she's a racist for the distribution of flyers that she was giving out in Luton. So what was she distributing? Well, in response to a Vice article that made the claim that Jesus Christ may have been a gay man, Lauren decided to conduct a social experiment to see how people would react when the tables are turned and other religious figures receive a similar claim. The material in question read, Allah is gay, Allah is trans, Allah is lesbian, intersex, feminist, queer, Allah is all of us. And it looks like the results of her social experiment are in. If you speak critically of Islam in the United Kingdom, you can be detained and interrogated under Section 7 of the Terrorism Act. Now, this comes despite the fact that they openly admitted that they don't actually believe that she's a terrorist, which proves they are using this law to unjustly criminalize and attempt to prosecute their political enemies. When the authorities made a telephone call to Lauren's father, he was smart enough to record the conversation. And in an exclusive interview with Tommy Robinson, she played the tape, which shows that they don't believe she was a terrorist at all, but this didn't stop them from using Section 7 of the Terrorism Act, which is meant for interrogating terrorists.
How are you? It's PC Hughes here. I'm calling from France, actually, in Coquille. I'm calling just with regards to your daughter, just to let you know at the moment she is being detained. She just wants you to know that she is being detained at the moment under a power called Schedule 7 of the Terrorism Act. She's just being questioned at the moment. She's all in order. She just thought you'd like to know that where she is.
A Terrorism Act?
Yes. We're just asking a few questions of her at the moment. Just so you know, it sounds power here at the port to stop anyone who comes through, given certain criteria, and we can stop and ask some questions with regards to them.
So by their own admission, they don't actually believe that she is a terrorist, but they are still using this piece of legislation to silence voices that, when you take a step back and look at it, have done nothing wrong. Controversial, yes. But the last time I checked, it's not illegal to be controversial. In fact, in a free and open society, one should be exactly that, especially if it sparks much needed debate. So what do you guys think? Are we witnessing the death of free speech right now merely for views that are controversial? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. And moving on to our second story for today, the man who was interviewing Lauren Southern goes by the name Tommy Robinson, and he also recently made headlines as a group of migrants and violent left-wing antifa thugs threatened him with his life and then physically attacked him. When Tommy was attempting to conduct a report with his film crew, he was approached by a group of migrants, and this is what happened.
No, no, get him. I'll put you asleep. I'll put you asleep. Get the fuck away from the camera. The fuck away from the camera. You tried to touch our camera. Yes, I don't fucking try and touch the camera then. I told you that 5 times.
Keep your life.
I will keep my life. You're not going to take my fucking life. Well, you think you're going to take my fucking life? Take my fucking life.
Right.
I'll give him 5
And you cannot. You cannot.
You see that?
And you cannot. You can look.
You take him away.
Okay.
One way this is going to go, you're going to end up knocked down unconscious.
I can bring for class.
And boom, that's what happens when you threaten to take someone's life. Now, I don't condone violence. I'm a subscriber to the non-aggression principle. However, in this particular situation, I do believe Tommy was in the right, because it seems that the migrant was the one who violated the NAP first. So I believe that Tommy did the right thing by neutralizing that threat. Soon after that, Tommy was reporting on a left-wing organization that was holding a conference when all of a sudden he was surrounded by a group of masked Antifa thugs who viciously went on the attack.
One-on-one, innit? You're not going to do it one-on-one, lads. You're not going to do it one-on-one. You're not going to do it one-on-one. What are you doing one-on-one? Why? Good stuff. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Wait, get off front.
You think that's cool?
Come in, you
Oi. Right?
You good, yeah? You dealt with them anyway. Hey, you fucked them up anyway. Fuck them up.
As you can see, Tommy was a little bit bruised and battered, but he held his own and he managed to fend off the attackers. So what did he do, you might be asking? Why would a group of masked men violently attack a reporter right there on the street? Well, it turns out that if you are critical of Islam and you speak out against the dangers of their caliphate, then these leftist radicals view it as racism, despite the fact that Islam is not even a race. This leftist alliance with Islam has been in the works for quite some time, and we are now starting to see the effects of what happens when these leftist radicals go down this insane and incorrect road of judgment. Which brings me to my third and final topic for today's video. Is it racist to be critical of a religion that is at odds with Western Christian standards, morals, and values? Well, let me first start by saying that we need to have an honest discussion about Islam as a political system that is not compatible with Western civilizations and is being implemented, as we've shown, by socialists. There is an inherent violent ideology here that has, to an extent, corrupted our very core institutions and value systems here in the West. This leftist alliance with Islam is undermining what remains of our civil society by politicizing everything and ignoring the fact that Islamic extremism is a real threat. The fact is, Islamic fascism is a problem, and the left fails to talk about Islam and terrorism and refugees immigrating into Europe. These are issues that fundamentally divide us and need critical analysis. The media in this situation, and in fact the entire liberal establishment, really only have themselves to blame, because they are the ones that provoke fear and distrust about Islam by not talking about it and by ignoring the elephant in the room rather than having an open and honest discussion about it. So what seems to criticize Islam in 2018 is to face trial by media and guilt by association censorship. This is political correctness at its worst, ladies and gentlemen. Being critical of Islam in Western nations here in 2018 shouldn't be looked at as racist or bigot, but rather this should be seen as a starting point for what is obviously much needed dialogue. So on that note, this is obviously a very controversial and touchy subject for many, so I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And that'll do it for today, ladies and gentlemen. If you liked this video and you appreciate my efforts, be sure to subscribe to us here on YouTube if you haven't already, and please share this video if the information resonates with you. And I want to thank everyone who has ever contributed to my efforts by either donating at pressfortruth.ca/donate or by becoming a PFT member or a PFT patron. This wouldn't be possible without you, so thank you so much for your continued support. Thanks for watching, my friends. Stay tuned because we've got more video reports coming soon. This is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth.